everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is Madden 17 on EA Sports. Here we've got a couple of big targets who will try to be key contributors in both the pass and run games today. It's Eiffert's Bengals going up against Ebron's Lions. It will be a cold one in Cincinnati as we take a look at Paul Brown Stadium. We'll welcome in our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Well, the snow started about 2 hours ago, and it doesn't show any signs of letting up soon as we join you from Paul Brown Stadium here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Detroit Lions. Hi again, everybody. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, we saw Larry focus on the tight end matchup in his open. You think it's one to watch, don't you?
Definitely one to watch because these guys can create such big plays by all the different things they can do. Line up out wide, in the slot, line up in a normal tight end position, and then who are you going to cover them with? Is it a linebacker, a defensive back? They create mismatches all throughout the game.
The snow continuing to pile up at game time. And we are underway from Cincinnati. On the return, it's Alex Erickson. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now we see Andy Dalton bring Cincinnati out there. And Cincinnati, gosh, first time under Andy Dalton, they haven't been in the playoffs. His first 5 years, they made it. This year, 6-9-1. He threw for 4,200 yards, second best total of his career. But again, that's a quarterback who would trade those numbers to be back in the playoffs.
Yeah, hollow numbers for Andy Dalton. And let's face it, it started last offseason. Lost Marvin Jones, Mohamed Sanu. Tyler Eifert got hurt in the Pro Bowl last year, missed the beginning of the season. And then A.J. Green got hurt late in the season. So all of his weapons gone from him, and it made it tough for him to generate the offense he wanted to in Cincinnati, hoping to have a bounce-back year in 2017.
For Jeremy Hill, with the season in the rearview mirror, finished just below 1,000 yards, I think 18th in the league in rushing. And his two 100-yard games both came against Cleveland, I believe.
Yeah, if he could play Cleveland each and every week, he would have been well over 1,000 yards. So the thing about Jeremy Hill in the Cincinnati Bengals offense, you think of them as a run-first team. So to me, his 889 yards, disappointing, because I would have thought that would be a higher number and an increased production from him. He's looking to do that in 2017.
This one grabbed by A.J. Green. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
Partner, I was working the Buffalo game when A.J. Green got hurt on, I believe, the second snap and never came back. A hamstring injury, couldn't finish the season, fell just short of 1,000 yards, which is something he does each and every year.
And that broke his streak of 5 straight 1,000-yard seasons. So you're right, he does do it every year. That was Week 11 against Buffalo, wasn't it?
Week 11, unable to make it back, but still voted to the Pro Bowl.
First and 10 for Dalton. Brought in here by Tyler Eifert. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
I think in a lot of ways, Tyler Eifert is happy to wave bye-bye to 2016 because of the injury issues. Got hurt in the Pro Bowl, missed the first 6 games of the season, and then couldn't finish the year with another back injury.
Yeah, and the one that hurt, that Pro Bowl injury, supposed to be such an award for the great year he had a season ago and just never really got things going this year, did he?
Such a difficult matchup, especially in the red zone. Look for a big bounce back in 2017.
Now a first down carry. It's Hill. Room here to run. He'll get about 4 here. Down to the 43-yard line. Nevin Lawson there on the tackle. And the offense trots out onto the field.
And A.J. Green is an absolute playmaker on the perimeter for his team.
Second down following the run. They run it again with Hill. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2. And now the Lions defensive starters.
Every time I watch a Lodi Nada play, I just wonder, how do you move this man? And then when he shows his movement ability, look out, quarterbacks.
Now a first carry for Giovanni Bernard. And he'll be stopped up quickly here at the 38. He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down and a yard.
And, partner, when you run the ball on 3rd and 2, you're telling the whole world you got nothing but confidence in your offensive line and your runner, and you expect to get it. But they were stuffed on that play, only got 1 yard. Great job by the defensive front, the linebackers, everyone got involved to force a 4th down.
And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good, and this will remain a scoreless game. Well, that opening drive looked good for a moment there, but they'll wind up being turned away thanks to the missed field goal.
And those especially hurt when you come into a game on the road. You're trying to get things to go your way early, and now you suffer a setback right out of the gate.
First carry for Amir Abdullah. And nothing doing on his first run. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Holding offense.
So oftentimes you see defensive holding. Here it's offensive holding for the flag. He lost 9 there. That's really going to set him back for 2nd down. Here's Stafford. This is screen to Abdullah. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. It's a solid pickup of 11, and it's 2nd down.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
They'll run the option left. And he might have got this across midfield, not by much. They'll mark it down at the 49. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a 1st.
I do know that owners, when they watch their quarterbacks run with the football, they usually hold their breath because that's the franchise. But when you're getting that kind of a game, hard to argue against calling it.
An extra defensive back in the game now here for 3rd and 4. From the gun on 3rd down, Stafford. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
Partner, how many times have you heard it? Pressure creates diamonds, right? But it also bursts pipes. And on that one, that's what they got. They got after him, and he was fortunate just to get rid of it.
Yeah, he just had to chuck it away. On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. Back deep for the Bengals, Adam Jones. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. They start the drive on the ground with Hill. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line. So one quarter in the books on a cold December afternoon. 0-0 our score. We'll return to Cincinnati after this.
This presentation of the NFL on EA Sports is brought to you by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, and it's the Bengals with a football to begin quarter number 2. They've got it 2nd and 4 to start things out. It's 2nd down. Dalton looking. They set up the screen to Hill. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. And that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying it is one thing. We can second guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the 1st down on 3rd down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
3rd down, a shot here for Dalton. And that's complete to LaFell. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Brandon LaFell, 75 yards. And the Bengals are in for 6. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go. Look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
On for the point after is Randy Bullock. And he's got it to make it 7-0 Bengals. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it ends with a Bengals score. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And ready to go for another offensive series. Out comes Detroit, and a Detroit team that, boy, lost in the playoffs this year. Don't have a playoff win since 1992. But it was a tough end of the season. There were injuries involved. And I know you think that this is a crew that really could make some noise again next year, don't you?
I do, because I think they gained so much confidence this season, battling back from a tough beginning, working their way into where they looked like they had a chance to win the division. And while they didn't do that, they did get into the playoffs. Despite a myriad of injuries, they think this team has a bright future, and they feel confident about 2017.
On 1st and 10, Stafford. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Eric Ebron, the big tight end, his intended target. And that'll bring up 2nd down. They'll come out in the pistol. Play fake to Abdullah. It's Stafford. And he'll be out of bounds up past the 45. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
I know they don't like to hear it when they get to a certain age, But then you have to start to use your skills, your wiles, right? Your mind to beat guys to the football. And getting your toes tapped in bounds definitely qualifies as that, doesn't it?
The veteran showing he still has the agility. And now a first down following that long gain. On first down, Stafford here. It's complete to Golden Tate. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. And Tate just finished his 7th NFL season. First 4 in Seattle, last 3 Detroit. And each of those 3 years, 90 or more receptions. Finished this season with 91 catches, over 1,000 yards.
And I saw him expand his game in 2016. I saw him operate out wide in the slot. Also came into the backfield and got carries and then ran routes from there. His yards after catch really jumped back up in 2016. And Golden Tate has shown that he's more than capable of being a #1 receiver in the NFL.
He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
Well, after what we just saw, we know that with 3rd down coming up, this is not a gimme for the offense. They've got to figure out what they want to do. Do they challenge their offensive line and try and run it? Or do they go ahead and concede that this is a tough defense and put it in the air?
They'll run here. Abdullah. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down. Crashing in from the end there, not to disrupt the pass game, but to disrupt the run game.
Yeah, I love the distinction, too, because the good defensive ends, they can do it all. Set the edge in the run game, make sure that no one can move it that way, and, of course, rush the passer. On that play, use his speed to get there in the run game.
Here is Matt Prater now. He's got the leg for this as he holds the NFL record with a 64-yarder back in 2013. And this will be spotted on the other side of the field. It's a 61-yard attempt. And there is nothing easy about being a kicker on a day like this.
Yeah, I tell you, not only is the footing tough in the snow, but kicking that ball is like kicking a rock. Very difficult to get any sort of feel on your kicks.
The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's brought down. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. And time for us to take a break here in the booth. We'll come back to Cincinnati after this. A reminder coming up at halftime while the two of us head for warmer areas of the press box.
Yes.
We'll be sending you to Orlando where Larry Ridley will have highlights and analysis of this first half.
Send me to Orlando, please.
Don't be so soft. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. Dalton, 1st and 10. Boyd's the target, and he has it over the middle. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. Dalton throwing on 2nd down. To the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
And they're just a couple of yards shy of a first down here on 3rd down. 3rd and 2 for Dalton. And Eifert has it. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. They send Green to the left on his own. A first down throw coming for Dalton. That is caught inside the 5. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Tyler Boyd, a 22-yard touchdown grab. And the Bengals add on to their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Now Bullock to add the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it's finished off with a Cincinnati touchdown. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. Andre Roberts now to return it. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you've got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
On first down at Stafford. Over the middle, complete to Tate. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Now a first down throw. Stafford. He's got his man. This is Tate. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So the offensive unit called the TO, and now we are ready to resume play. So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down. On second down, here's Stafford. Surveying the field. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Geno Atkins in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Throwing on third down, Stafford. A dump off for Abdullah. And now the Bengal defense here calling a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. They begin the drive with Hill. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll send you down to Orlando as we check in with Larry Ridley and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to the EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. Let's take a look back at the first half. The Lions are behind right now, but the home crowd should give them a boost. The Bengals have looked good on the road and will just try to keep the ball rolling in the second half. Here we go. Let's do this. Here's your first half highlights. Line up right at the 22-yard line. Boyd's wide open here on the catch, and this 4-play drive goes for a touchdown. That puts them on top by 14. Down to late in the first half, Atkins is going to push his way to the QB here. This will go for a loss of 7. So that's it for us at the EA Sports Studio. We'll go back now to Cincinnati for the start of the second half.
So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This will be taken in at the 1. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution, or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. Throwing is Stafford to the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were.
All right, say it with me now. There are a lot of different words we come up with. Maybe we go back and forth after that play, getting his toes tapped down to make that catch. Crafty?
Yep.
Wiley? Oh, definitely.
All the veteran names.
You name it. Has every move in the book and continued to get better throughout his career so he can make that type of a catch.
Here's Stafford now on second down. His throw incomplete. He was trying to find Marvin Jones that time. And it's third down. offense faces a 3rd and medium with 6 yards left. From the gun on 3rd down, Stafford. He's going to float this one deep right side. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
I know the initial focus was on how far that pass was downfield, but how about the coverage on the play? Able to stay with him, get his hands where the receiver's hands were going to try and catch the ball, tips it up in the air, and knocks it away.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. We'll call that a 47-yard punt, a return of just 3. And the Bengals take possession. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Where we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give us any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
So nothing there, but maybe you blame that on the blocking.
Yeah, at some point, you've got to win at the point of attack. And on that play, that was all the defense. They made it happen.
It's second down. Dalton looking. And that's off the mark, incomplete. His big tight end, Tyler Eifert, the intended receiver. And that'll make it 3rd down. So incomplete on second down. Now they'll look to convert here on 3rd. Third down, a shot here for Dalton. And this is going to be incomplete. Here's Kevin Huber now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. Now it's Tate. And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. And they begin the drive with Abdullah. And some room to roam now. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find because the colleges are giving us a whole lot of receiving tight ends, former wide receivers who can run, not necessarily block very well. In this case, though, we saw 2 tight ends on the field, both of them with the ability to block, and he ran the ball successfully behind that power set.
Here's Stafford. Ebron caught left side. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. They come out here in the eye. On first down, Abdullah. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's second down. Stafford gives to Abdullah on the draw. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves him with third and about 6 yards to go.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
And the line to gain here is the 37 on third down. Out of the gun, Stafford. And he connects with Ebron. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line. And 21 yards there as they convert on third. So he makes the grab and the chains move forward.
Nice job by the offensive line giving them time to complete that first down pass.
So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. They'll run it now out of the gun. And Abdullah lost the football. And fortunately for him, he's able to get it back, but it will be a loss on the play.
All I can say about this play is that someone's living right. I mean, he's trying to gain yardage, trying to get upfield. Ball comes free. What's that panic that we've talked about oftentimes that you feel when you lose the ball?
You can sense it.
Oh, you can sense it, and somehow he got to it and was able to recover it for his squad.
Offense with a fumble, but they recover it, and it brings up second down. Now the Notre Dame man, this is Theo Riddick. Nothing there, no gain, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 15. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. It's the Lions trailing, but with possession of the football as we get set to bring you the 4th quarter. Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on third down. Third and long, it's Stafford. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. This from 44 yards out, left hash. And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So a miss on his first attempt, but this time he gets back on the bike and knocks it home.
I know this will surprise you a little bit, Brandon, but you know kickers can be a fragile breed sometimes. You got to wonder what's going through his mind, but he didn't let that first miss impact him one bit.
Hey, I kicked back at Harrison High School. Are you calling my ilk soft? now it's Martin to do the honors after the made field goal. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They'll run it now out of the gun. He takes this for 3 to the 29. In on the stop, it's Tahir Whitehead. And in this situation with the lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Again, it's Hill. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Third down from the gun, Dalton. And that is incomplete.
Holding. Defense.
And you as a former defender should know that the referees are watching this closely, defensive holding.
They watch it awfully closely. I sure wish they'd let it be 5.5 yards like they do for the offensive guys, but in this case, they were strict with the rule.
And the offense lining up 1st and 10. Following the penalty, it's Hill. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
On 2nd down, Hill. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Hill, the lone setback. He's going to get the football. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. Here we go with 2nd and 7. Dalton to Hill on the draw. And good penetration. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. And the offense in that middle ground here on third down, 5 yards to go. They come out here in the I. Dalton gives to Bernard. And he'll get this down. And we're going to get another timeout called by the Lions. That'll be their second, so one more chance to stop the clock here. And we'll be back. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. Here's Kevin Huber now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. So here come the Lions now. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in. Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score.
And not great starting field position here for the offense. Now a first down throw. Stafford. The left side completion to Jones. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. And 15 yards there on the catch and run. And the offense moving quickly to the line. On first down, Stafford here. He's got time. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. And on 2nd and 10 now. Again, we'll see the pistol here. Back to the air. Stafford on 2nd down. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 7 yards on the play. And that'll lead here to a 3rd down. And they're going to speed things up here. Stafford on 3rd down. And this is going to be incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Desperation time for Stafford on 4th down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Domatapeco in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. Jeremy Hill now gearing up to go again as he marches back onto the field. So after that hot start, the numbers here show the decline. What has the defense done adjustment-wise?
Sometimes when you have a running back who's getting off to a hot start, you've got to catch him before he really gets going. So you change what you do across the defensive front. Instead of the linebackers being back a few yards, you bring them up closer. It's what we call mugging the line of scrimmage, taking away a lot of blocking angles and gaps, and maybe stopping him before he can get going.
Mugging the line of scrimmage, okay.
Yeah, in this case.
The Bengals go down to a knee in the victory formation. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. The Bengals go down to a knee in the victory formation. Dalton down to a knee, and that'll be all she wrote. And, well, they could just run this clock out, but here is the field goal unit on 4th down. Right hash mark, a 42-yard attempt. Oh, partner, there's something special about a game in the snow. Just always fun in these elements, although a little chillier up here in the open-air booth. The only thing that's not fun is that we got the mid-game notification that our flight was canceled tonight, but we'll deal with that later. It was really a fun game to watch, though.
It was, and there is something special about games played in the snow because the element of surprise really kicks in. You don't know how they're going to handle the ball, if someone's going to make a dramatic play just out of nowhere, and all of a sudden it just changes the course of things. But a big shout out to our crew to make sure that we were comfortable up here, as comfortable as one could be. In these elements, they took care of us and made sure we were dressed properly.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. With that, we say so long from Cincinnati.